This is a historic day for Palantir. New historic records have been shattered. It seems like Palantir has just won again. New contracts are on the way. Billions of dollars are on the line. And this might be the last piece to ignite that 1 trillion mark. What is happening? And what on earth am I even talking about? Well, let me explain. Disclaimer. Palantir is showing some serious strength today. The price just kept pushing higher and higher, even hitting a brand new all-time high. And what's even more impressive? It didn't flinch. While other stocks were getting dragged down, Palantir stood tall and refused to drop. That alone says a lot. But we're just getting started. Because here's the crazy part. Palantir is scaling at lightning speed right now. Like, it honestly feels like Palantir just wins every single day. While others are slowing down or taking a hit, Palantir keeps rising, and now a lot of people are saying this stock might just go absolutely wild soon. There's a buzz forming, and it's getting louder. Some even believe this could be the beginning of a run that takes Palantir into a whole new league. Possibly even that trillion-dollar league. And at this point, it really doesn't feel like a wild dream anymore. But hold up. What's happening now is actually going out of control. Palantir just shattered multiple historic records. Back-to-back wins. Things no one even saw coming. And guess what? It's not just numbers on a chart anymore. Palantir just officially became one of the top 20 biggest US companies by market cap. That's huge. Yesterday, it overtook Home Depot, and now it's even passed Procter & Gamble. Think about that for a second. This isn't just a tech company with hype anymore. This is a legendary name being cemented right in front of our eyes. The kind of name people will look back on years from now and say, that was the moment. Now, before we dive deeper into what this all means long-term, let's just zoom into what's happening on the chart today, because it's big. One analyst broke it down, and what he found was shocking. Palantir is forming this massive rising wedge pattern, and it's still climbing. That kind of move doesn't happen unless there's real momentum behind it. The volume, the structure, the strength, it's all there. And when you combine that with the kind of headlines Palantir is making lately, yeah, this might just be the beginning. So if you're watching Palantir, now's not the time to blink. The moves we're seeing today are painting a picture of a stock that's not only defying the market, but rewriting what we thought was possible. So, what just happened? Well, something pretty big. Knightscope just announced a 2-year deal with Palantir Technologies. And they're not just working together. They're joining Palantir's FedStart program. Now, if you've never heard of FedStart, this is basically Palantir's express lane for companies that want to break into the US federal marketplace. And trust me, that's a huge deal. With this move, Knightscope gets full access to a high-security, government-grade digital environment. We're talking about high-level stuff. Basically, military-grade security clearance for software and data. And guess who's managing all of it? Yep, Palantir. They're not just providing the tools. They're running the whole infrastructure on cloud, fully accredited, fully monitored, and fully locked down to meet the strictest federal standards. That means Palantir is now the backbone for Knightscope's entire federal push. From compliance, to security, to ongoing audits, Palantir handles it all. Knightscope just has to focus on what they do best, deploying AI-powered robotics for public safety. But here's where it gets wild. This isn't just a one-off contract. This is part of a bigger national movement. The US government is actively pushing for a national robotics strategy, trying to boost innovation, reduce foreign reliance, and modernize federal operations. And who's right in the middle of that now? Palantir. Because every company like Knightscope that joins FedStart is basically expanding Palantir's influence across the entire federal tech space. This means Palantir isn't just selling software anymore. They're becoming the default operating system for secure, AI-powered, government-grade innovation. Every time another company joins FedStart, Palantir gets deeper into the system. More contracts, more data, more infrastructure, and more control. And that's how Palantir wins again. Because think about this. Knightscope is just one company. But Palantir is designed to bring in many. And every time Palantir locks in a company under this model, they get long-term revenue, strategic leverage, and deep integration into government systems. It becomes harder and harder to replace them. They're not just providing software, they're becoming critical infrastructure. And this is exactly the kind of blueprint that could push Palantir to that trillion-dollar mark. Why? Because the US federal government is one of the largest buyers in the world. And Palantir is now building the highway that companies will use to enter that market. They own the path, they own the rails, and they're monetizing every step of the way. So yeah, this Nightscope deal might seem small on the surface, but it's a massive signal. It shows that Palantir's FedStart strategy is working. It's gaining traction. And it's proving that Palantir doesn't just win big government contracts. They enable others to do it too, using their infrastructure. That's how ecosystems are built. And if Palantir becomes the go-to platform for every AI company trying to go federal, we're not just talking growth, we're talking dominance. And from here, that trillion-dollar milestone, it's starting to look a whole lot closer than most people realize. And we can actually see the effects right now. Palantir isn't just winning deals, it's dominating the entire market. In fact, Palantir is officially the best-performing stock in the S&P 500 for 2025. No one even comes close. Just look at these numbers. Over the last 6 months, Palantir has doubled, up more than 100%. And in the past year, this stock has skyrocketed by over 4 times its value. That's 447% growth in a single year. Absolute insanity. And it doesn't stop there. Palantir is igniting today with a massive surge in bullish momentum. We're talking about a $12 million call sweep explosion happening in the options market right now. What does that mean? Basically, traders are piling into bullish bets on Palantir, fast. In simple terms, there's a wave of short-term call options absolutely dominating puts by over $12 million just today. That's not small money. That's serious volume coming in with confidence. It means traders and institutions believe Palantir's price is heading higher, and soon. And you can actually see it happening. The stock is flying today up almost $4, or around 2.5% intraday. That kind of price action, backed by this level of call buying, is a clear signal. The bulls are in full control right now. And when you connect this to everything else going on, record-breaking all-time highs, the Nightscope deal, top 20 market cap status, best performer in the S&P this year, it all starts to paint a very clear picture. Palantir isn't slowing down. It's accelerating. Momentum is building on every front. Technical, fundamental, and now, options flow. And when you get all 3 of those lined up like this, that's when big moves happen. And right now, the energy around this stock is getting harder and harder to ignore. And even when you zoom out and look at the long term, Palantir is still looking really good. Just like one analyst said recently, it's only a matter of time before we see Palantir hit that 1 trillion mark. And honestly, he might be right. Because as of today's market close, Palantir is already sitting at a $363 billion valuation. That's more than a third of the way there. And get this, it's now only about $137 billion away from hitting a $500 billion market cap. That's not a dream anymore. That's within striking distance. And with the kind of momentum we're seeing, record highs, insane options activity, top-performing stock in the S&P, FedStart scaling, and new government contracts rolling in, it's not crazy to think Palantir could get there a lot sooner than people expect. This isn't some small-cap AI stock hoping to make waves. This is now a dominant force in U.S. tech and defense, actively reshaping how data, AI, and security work at the highest levels. The foundation is built. The traction is real. And if this kind of growth continues, $1 trillion isn't a question of if anymore, it's a question of when. But what is your opinion on this? Comment down below. If you are curious to find more, then make sure to click on one of the videos you see on the screen. And with that, we come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed the video, then turn on the notifications bell on this channel. Missing an important Palantir update might make you lose money. So, don't risk it. Also, please share this video with as many people as possible. Let's get this news out there.